Hey guys, welcome back to Concentration Club. We're still in the American muscle trend. We're looking at another American muscle car, but this one is cool, and this one is something I have a lot more knowledge about because it is modern Mopar, and it's done really well. So what are we looking at? We are looking at none other than the Scaleauto Viper GTS-R. Let's get into it. So we're looking at a Viper GTS-R. This is from Scaleauto. Once again, comes in this clear crystal case with a black base, corrugate sleeve on the back that says Scaleauto. This is the R chassis edition, so the racing series, the R series. To open it up, first you have to cut off these little tabs at the bottom here. It's got a corrugate sleeve at the bottom. I really like the graphics of the two stripes going across. It's not real. I think the G slots have like a real rail on them, which is really cool. On the back, you get to see the Scaleauto details, their website, Facebook, etc. It's designed and developed in Barcelona. It's the R series chassis. That means it's built for racers. So let's take a look at the model itself. So we're looking at the Viper GTS-R. Is a 24 Hour of Daytona, Texas #93. This was a model released by Dodge in 2016 for the Return to Racing campaign. This car, the rail car, had an 8.4 liter V10 producing 640 horsepower and 545 pound-foot of torque. Woo. Take it easy, bro. All right. Let's take a look at this model. So let's get a bit of history about it. This is the GTS-R. It's from the 24 Hours of Daytona. It's the Texas edition. Number 93. It was released in 2016 by Dodge for the Return to Racing campaign. It features the Viper V10 engine producing 640 horsepower and 545 pound-foot of torque. It reached speeds of 204 miles per hour, and it finished highly competitively in 24 Hours of Daytona. It raced to first place. So we're looking at a very beautiful rendition of the Viper. It's got the American colors all the way through it, red, white, and blue. It is predominantly white with a lot of Texas in it. And it says that really cool on the top of the roof. Don't mess with Texas. So, amazing car. We'll start at the front. There's a beautiful Dodge Cross that we're used to seeing. Unfortunately, the Viper's not made anymore, so we won't be seeing it any further. Hopefully it comes back. I really like the Vipers. We get these two headlights, marker lights in the front. We got the headlights up top. You got that beautiful nose that comes up. Active air intakes. Across the hood, we go up. We get the Texas bullhorn logo kind of represented on the hood here. Split silver red. Star of Texas. All the way across to the roof. Don't mess with Texas, like I said earlier. We get the Texas, a little silhouette of the state of Texas. The star again. Dodge across the front windshield. As we sweep back, we get an active air scoop that takes air into the rear of the vehicle here. Viper Exchange logo on the side. I like the wheels and tires in this one. The other one that has all matte black, which is also cool. But I do like these rims and tires on this particular livery. You get the little GTD at the bottom here. You get the car number 93 with WeatherTech logos on the side. you get these beautiful scoops that make up the side profile of the car. Very good active aero. Inside we get a flooded cockpit. Driver is caught just below the knees, I believe, in this car. And you get to see the fire extinguisher. You get to see the roll cage all inside the vehicle. The rear of the car, it has the big duck-wing spoiler, and then it says drive yourself happy. Everything about this car is so well done. I really like it. It's really cool. The passenger side is pretty much the same as driver's side, but this is where it gets really interesting. Now, this is not the first R chassis I've reviewed. I've reviewed the 911, but it's the same chassis here. You can tell the floating motor pod here. Scaleauto long can motor. This is an angle winder. I'm not too sure about the gearing on this car. I will double check it and let you guys know. But I just had to have this car. It's too cool. It's a Viper. I love modern Mopar. I'm a big Mopar nut. So having a Viper or another Viper in my possession is nothing but a cool thing. So let's take this downstairs. Let's take this car to the track and see what it does. Alright, let's take a deeper dive into this chassis. Once again, this is the R chassis from Scaleauto. To open it up, you have to open up one screw there and one screw there. So once you open up the chassis, you get see the body. It's very lightweight, super lightweight, very clean, no cut throughs. But once again, like I said, this model is flooded. The model's cut just above the knees. You can see him inside there with his white jumpsuit, red seat belts, and his green and white helmet. Pretty cool. These little pops of accents of lime green across the vehicle, just tie it all together. And this is the chassis. So as you can see, it is the race version. You get this nice, beautiful gray, and you get a floating model pod. This is an 11:27 gear ratio. So 11:27 gear ratio. It's got removable magnets. It's got bronze axle bushings. You can also see that it has plastic wheels in the front and aluminum wheels on the rear. It has a removable magnet right there, and it's got a body leveling system is what they call it. I'm not too sure. It's very, very thin. You can see how low it sits. So this car should be very quick around the track. So it's the good thing about it is a racing chassis, so it's really quick to take off, really quick to put back together. I'm going to oil up the bushings, put some more lube onto the gear mesh here, and we're going to take it downstairs, put it on the track, and see what it does. guys, well, back from trackside. We just put the Viper GTS-R through its paces. This is a Scaleauto product. Lovely livery, great results. Let's take a look at them. So as we look at the site, we see that the Viper GTS-R Scaleauto did it in 4.451. Is this fast? No, not impressively. I think, I have a lot faster cars. But that's saying this car came straight out of the box. Did not tune it, just put it on the track. Of course, we have other cars that have done the same thing and done it faster. But one thing I'll say was the smoothness of this car was like the other Scaleauto, which I had earlier. I mean, Polycar did a really good job with their Ferrari, and this car is, to me, it's in its equivalent. It's really smooth, and I really like it. So, taking a look at the leaderboard here, when we look down, page 1 is full of really fast cars here. It's not as impressive when you look at it that way. However, when you look at Scaleauto, the Porsche that I had tuned, that I had run earlier, sorry, never tuned, but just run earlier, it did the 911 GT3 did in 4.140, which is really fast, really good, especially for that kind of straight out of the box result. I have found that recently, because I run a lot non-mag, I'm a little bit less adept at running on my track. So I have found that my times have kind of dropped a little bit on my track, and this could be just from me getting a little bit less, getting a bit more technical in my racing. But we'll see. I think understanding something that I was taught at Ernie's, like this is just as much as tuning a car. Understanding how to control your fingers is just as much as tuning a car. So I'm working on that. But anyway, 4.451 seconds is not bad. The car itself is pretty good in terms of spec. 88 grams weight, height, length, width, pretty standard for a 132nd car. So really, well represented. But where we got into some really cool stuff was when I started to go to non-mag. So let's take a look at what I discovered. So converting the car to non-mag was something that I really wanted, because I do want to race this at Ernie's a lot more, and they do non-mag racing, or at least I prefer to do non-mag racing at Ernie's. So the first thing I had to do was remove the magnet, and that was where I ran into my issues. The magnet is located underneath this rear axle, and as much as you can poke a screwdriver through here and pop out the magnet, it will not come out, because there is this lip right here that stops the magnet from coming out of the car. So there's a little lip here. Let me see if I can get some light here. Nope. All right. Well, my light's not working, so we'll figure that out later. But anyway, when we look here, this little lip here prevents the magnet from coming out, so it won't attach to the, we tried popping it out and spinning it and trying to get it out. Now, when I say I was at Ernie's when I was trying to do this, and there's a gentleman named Chris who was super, super helpful and has helped me tune so many of my cars. So I want to say a huge thank you for Chris for taking the time to look at my cars and help me tune them. And he's a pro, at this tuning, one of the best, even under Ernie's, recommendation, one of the best tuners that he's ever seen. So I really want to thank Chris for taking the time to look at the car for me. So next thing we had to do was take out this back assembly to remove the magnet, because there's no other way to take it out. So when we went to try and remove this grub screw here that holds the gear in place, it was stripped. So it had come from the factory stripped, and we couldn't remove the rear axle. But anyway, through some finagling, Chris managed to get an Allen key that was able to open up through some force, open up and remove that grub screw. When it came out, we were able to remove the magnet, and then when we went to put it back, we needed to get a new grub screw. We took a standard grub screw, screwed it in, and when we rotated, the grub screw would come and it would hit the gear. So it'd come in and it would hit the gear. And we had to adjust the position of the gear and move it back out to avoid that. So that all had to be done just to remove the magnet. So a little bit of an annoyance, but you know what? It's okay. Got it done. So we thought, okay, great. Put it on the block. Put the car on the block. Got it, the front tires down and to the block using these grub screws right here, tightened it down. And we're like, great, that's ready to run. Put it on the track. And it was running fine, but I noticed that when it came down to the front straights or the back straights, it was jittering. So the front would lift up and bounce. It would bounce all the way down, and we're like, oh, what's going on? So we opened it back up, and we noticed that there was a spring. So just underneath, so this is the guide right here. So the guide flag is here. There's a pin that comes up, and right between this top screw and the actual chassis plate holder of the guide, there was a spring in here. And when there's a magnet in this car, it's great because it pulls down the chassis and the spring can, is loaded at all times. But without the magnet, what was happening was the spring was vibrating as the car was going down and bouncing, and it was causing the car to jitter. So by removing that spring, we're able to remove that jitter. Now I still have to go in and trim down and cut down this guide flag, this guide pin here, so that it's flush to the chassis holder here, and that way that screw can come all the way down and we will not have this movement. But this was a non-issue when I was racing at Ernie's anyway, because without the spring in there, it just drops to the bottom and the guide can pretty much stay in place. But it's good to I still have to go through and remove that little access there. But yeah, once we did that, the car ran perfectly and was like a dream. So, huge thank you once again to Chris for doing that for me and teaching me that. And I wanted to share that with you guys, my subscribers, and if you are running Scaleauto, so that you know. Right. So what are my final thoughts on the vehicle? Let's cover that. So, the Viper GTS-R from Scaleauto. Is it a buyer? Is it something you should buy? I'm a big Scaleauto fan right now, so I'd say 2 thumbs up for that. Whether you're a racer, collector, absolutely get a Scaleauto car. It will change your perception. I know there's NSRs out there, and there's a lot of slotteds out there, but Scaleauto has got some really good product. And I'm super, super excited to tune more of their cars. Actually, I have quite a few that I recently bought and purchased that I will be continuing to tune. Some for mag, some for non-mag, but I'm really, really, really happy with the car. And I encourage you to go out there and get one for yourself. If you have one and you've tuned it and you have some tips and tricks, let me know. Add your comments in down below. I'm always actively checking comments, and I would love to converse with you about Scaleauto and get your feedback. So, in a nutshell, really happy with the purchase. Definitely part of my collection, and I will continue to expand the Scaleauto lineup in my collection. Now, I just hit 750 subscribers. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. It was February 15th when I hit 500, and just a month later, I'm at I added another 250 subscribers. Can't comprehend it. I mean, I still do my things, but there's so many legends in this hobby. So being able to contribute to this hobby and have you guys appreciate that is huge for me. So thank you very much. Once again, if you like this kind of content, I do put out car reviews a lot. I am a car collector, more than a racer, more than a tuner. If you like that and you like to see cars being showcased all the time, please like and subscribe to the channel. Press that bell notification, and I will inform you as soon as a new car comes out. Until then, next time, guys, thank you very much once again, and I hope you're having fun on rails. Take care.